Good evening, everybody. Fan Steve here once again. It is Friday, November 8th, 2024. This is an older Lakewood 20-inch box fan. This is the fan that has been in use with some of the projects and work that I've been doing here lately, that I've been very busy with. This has spent a lot of its time out in the shed, probably since the last video that I made of it. This fan, I do believe, is to be made by Lakewood, and if I recall correctly, I think I remember somebody. Actually, I think it was Walter Knox that informed me on this. That this dated back to, I think it was the late 70s or early 80s. I'm guessing somewhere between 78 or 1982, something like that. I'll have to look that up again. This fan is it's not in the best of shape, but it's in good shape. It's definitely been through a lot throughout its lifetime, from what I can see. This really hasn't been in a lot of use pretty much the whole time that I have been here. I've used it at least maybe once. I think I made a few videos of this before, and this belongs to family. So since we got it out, I figured I'd go ahead and just make another video of it. This is the model with the pointed cabinet, and it has the holes in the center hub. The blade, I do believe, is to be like a I'm pretty sure maybe it was white at one point, and through years of exposure to environment, maybe it was a little bit more faded out. I don't think doesn't appear to be tan or anything like that. Pretty much the same thing with the guard here. And believe you and me, this thing has really seen some signs of age, use, and wear. But man, it's still going strong. Still works pretty good. Actually, I don't think this thing had been cleaned or serviced one single time. But this thing is a survivor. Pretty much everything to it is original, including the handle and the knob. Get to it. There's the power cord. Non-polarized. It has the thin gauge lamp-like power cord on it, and I happen to think that these old power cords are really cool. But it's still working. I do believe this fan was repainted at one point. I mean, I don't know the full accurate history. I'll have to ask and get a little bit more information about this. And I think this was actually more like a dark sweet potato orange color originally, and it was repainted this, looks like a beige or a dark coffee brown color. And you see it where it was painted over the switch plate there. Can hardly make out of what it is anymore. The switch is still really good. It's not squeaking or anything like that. Even the plastic on the handle is still really good. I mean, it's not flaky or anything. One little crack here in the front guard. A few missing slats down here. All of the screws, these are the original screws, by the way, still on the front guard. Let's turn it around. There's the back. A few missing slats here. There's one there that's kind of looks like it's barely hanging on. There's one there. A few screws are missing here on the left side and on the right side. Has the famous Macmillan motor that was primarily used on these old fans. Let's see if we can have a look on the inside. And yeah, that stator is looking pretty rough there on the inside, caked up with dirt and dust and grime and all kinds of shit. Maybe I'll ask if I can give this thing a good cleaning, but who knows the last time this thing was ever cleaned. There's a look at the inside there. Side of the casing up there. There's the wiring. I think it's kind of odd how they kind of put the bag around the wiring and all like that. Maybe it was for protection, I suppose. Original bolts, and how it has the holes there, the triangular shaped mounts that we always saw on these fans growing up. There are the feet. Has all the original feet, but it looks like this one is a little chipped or broken. Still sturdy though. Let's have a look at the side of it, just so if we ever forgotten how thick these things were. This thing is probably, I don't know, give or take, maybe it's about as wide as my hand, and I have pretty big hands, so it's probably maybe about 12 inches or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so I have my tape measure, so this measures to be about yeah, a little over 6 inches. Definitely do not see that with the fans that are being made this time anymore. Just like that is most definitely a thing of the past. Had the holes on the side that were mounted on the stand. I think I'll share a really neat story about this before I demonstrate. I go way back with these fans, and I remember seeing these just about everywhere from my childhood. I remembered seeing them in schools, barbershops, laundromats, thrift stores. We had several of these in our household, particularly in my grandparents' house. Ones that I could probably not go over. I'm trying to remember if I ever remember seeing this one growing up. Maybe I did. Not the rounded, but the pointed cabinet. The very first one of these that I ever remember seeing for the first time was a Kmart 223. It had the blade set just like this one, and it was the robin egg blue cabinet, and it had the rounded corners. Pretty much the same thing as this. And I remember seeing it in the junk pile. And back then when we were kids, we were we were sort of prohibited from going outside, getting outside of the house for a number of reasons. But whenever I did get to go out, we had a junk pile back behind our house, between our barn and our shed, and that is pretty much where all of the junk went. When nothing was any good anymore, and there was always all kinds of stuff back there. But I remember going back there one day, and I remember seeing it on top of the junk pile, and I just grabbed it. I think I remember grabbing it by the cord. I had no idea, no clue what happened to it. I don't even recollect seeing it before then. And the fan was in really good shape. I mean, I didn't know if the fan had worked or not. And I brought it into the house, and I remember putting it into the living room, and I didn't plug the fan in to see if it worked, and I just my mother, being on the safer side, she didn't know if the fan was working or not. She had it put back out in the scrap pile, just to be on the, she was, looking out after me and just being on the safer side. But I also remember my brother had one many years later that he used for a work fan. It was the same. It was the same identical fan, and I remember my family getting a metal bladed Lakewood with this same color, and it had the rounded corners. And we bought that at the flea market. I think that was in the early 2000s. I don't really know what happened to that, but that also went to the trash. And I also remembered having what they call the baby Kmart box fan with a 3 plastic blade set. And I just always thought these were really cool fans. Really great performers. Even though the Marco motors maybe not being the most efficient, and it's a wonder if this thing is still even going, because throughout my lifetime, of every fan that I had seen with these motors, that they were the least efficient and more prone to failure. Usually depending on usage or of how well they're taken care of properly. But yeah, thought I'd share that with you. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and we will fire this fan up now. Fan is a little dirty, as you can see. It's got drywall and all kinds of stuff on it from where we've been working in the living room. So hopefully I'm going to turn this thing on. It's not going to blow a bunch of crap everywhere. Let's go ahead and start it up on the high speed. Love the sound of these fans. It's putting out a good volume of air, good blast of air. Really good range too. Hardly no vibration at all. Very well balanced. Okay, let's knock it down to the medium. fans were very ambient. Also, I always thought that they sounded a lot like the Toastmasters when they ran. But definitely made good sleeping fans, I'm sure. Okay, let's kick it down to the low. And low is low on this thing. I always thought that these had really good speed variations. Even on the low speed puts out a good gentle breeze. Funny thing about these fans, and I remember seeing on these, fan is very well balanced, but it just appears like maybe you can pick it up on the camera, but I can certainly see it, that the center hubs on these things, or maybe they were not well self-centered or something. But it's still very well balanced at the same time too. I mean, I never really understood that. Okay, let's turn it back up to the high. I have no clue as to when the last time this thing was ever lubricated, but the spin down time on it is still decent, I guess. Like I said, still going strong. Since this does have a really good startup sound, I will treat you to the motor startup sound, since I love the startup sound. Okay, medium. And now the low. Okay. There you have it, everybody. Hope that you are all happy to see this old clunker again. I guess this will be another false 2024 startup. Actually, this is the first time ever this year this thing was ever put to use, so this really doesn't get a lot of regular use. So maybe that's the reason why it's still chugging along so well like it does. I do have my eye out for one of these things of my own one day. So I would even love to get one of the metal bladed versions of these again too, because I have really good fond memories of those. Well, everybody, there you have it. I hope that you all have enjoyed the video of this, and until the next one, over and out.